morning everybody, it's Chris from Serene Education with the 4 majors and update for the 19th of April 2012. Hi guys, just going to be looking at the 4 majors, starting with Euro against US dollar on the daily. Very hesitant these past couple of days. You'll notice that price since start of April has just been going sideways, not a lot of momentum to the upside, very indecisive. And until we get a genuine sentiment, if it's either up or down, as you can quite clearly see, just sideways motion. 1305 reattempted yesterday morning, and then a bounce higher to the upside on the US session. Apologies, but you can see that psychological 1300 still in play, still very much below price, and as long as that pair is trading above that area, then there's more likely of support. Ideally, we need to see 1300 being breached. Nice bearish engulfing would definitely confirm that price is now looking favorable short side. CTC still remains negative. We are still in a negative consolidation, and that is due to the fact that we are seeing lower swings. You can quite clearly see where prices come from and where price is likely to head to. Lower swing. We've had a bit of indecision over here. That was swing low. However, we're still trying to stay upside of 1300. A nice little hammer here on support, psychological bounce over here, because we had a bounce previously on 2 occasions on this daily support here at 1300. However, price hasn't been able to actually maintain that bounce, that positiveness, and we've gone into 2 consecutive days now of indecision. Doji yet again. More buying sentiment at the end of yesterday's candle, however, still very indecisive. And if this is to either remain positive, ideally we'd like to see a bounce, but then 1500 would need to be breached. A nice close above 1500. You can see 2 days ago we had an attempt of 1500, but we didn't have a close. So we need to see a nice bullish engulfing above 1500, which tell us that we should be looking towards the 13300 mark as our first target. Or the other scenario would be all red, all negative, lower swings. This price is now being squeezed between a very strong support, and our lows are getting higher, or lower, above us. Apologies. So we could see a bearish engulfing, but we do need to see 1300 being breached. Until that happens, then unfortunately there's nothing really here for us long-term traders to be trading at the moment. Your intraday traders on your smaller time frames, yes, you might be able to capitalize on this, but very indecisive. You're going to see a lot of volatility intraday today, especially on the euro. You're going to see Spanish 10-year bonds auction. That could be interesting to see what the outcome of that is. So if anything, be patient on this one. Sterling against the US dollar. This one over here, wow, finding momentum to the upside. Yesterday there was talk that the BOE, Bank of England, wasn't thinking about doing any more austerity measures, less funding from for pumping money into the economy. It didn't say it needed it, and sure enough, we've seen this positiveness. I've mentioned that as long as we stayed above the 15800, this area around here, plus the institution moving average, then there was more potential for price to be buying to the upside and reattempting this very strong psychological resistance area here recently at the 1600. And sure enough, where has price closed yesterday? Well above it. Okay, so now all we need to see is price finding support. We had an attempt not so long ago, but we finished off with a spinning top at this resistance level. We wanted to see a decision after a spinning top because it's an indecisive candle. That failed to materialize, and we saw a bearish engulfing, which actually came up with an evening star formation and resistance, and we saw price reverting towards these levels here at 15800. Here, it's above 1600. We do need to see price sticking above the 1600 now, finding support, and then ultimately we'll be heading up towards the 1500 mark. Okay, so as it stands at the moment now, be patient, look for potential pullback if there is anything, but as long as price maintains this level above 1600, then long-term cable is looking pretty. CTC is very much extended to the upside. You can see we were consolidating under the 1600 here. We were trading above all the moving averages, and we were trading above the most important one, the institution moving average. Okay, the very good thing about this one is we've now broken above a very strong psychological resistance level at 1600. We now need to maintain that level now. Okay, so if anything, look for a nice bullish kick to the upside. What we could see is a potential pullback and then a continuation. I think everybody's going to be sitting here looking and waiting what the outcome is on the European Spanish bonds auction and taking it from there. But as it stands now, cable looking very favorable for further topside movement. Next up is US dollar Swiss franc. This pair, I noted that we had a higher swing not too long ago, and we were heading to the downside. Tweeze the top here, forming a lower swing. So ultimately taking your highs, moving to the upside. You can see that price, as we speak now, is in this area of consolidation. 9200, see here at the 38.2 pullback retracement of this all-time high. We had a bounce and then we had a pullback, and you can see the 38.2 is now back in play on this level. It's failed to trade higher in this area for a full week, and then we had this exhaustion candle. I was looking for a nice break lower towards the 910. However, we've seen indecision followed by upside movement yesterday, but still on the downside of this candle. Okay, not very bullish. Ideally, if we're going to see a bullish, we would need to see a break higher than 9200. A definite bullish engulfing, taking us above this 9200, because then it'll be telling us, listen here, this is now looking all-time low, followed by a higher low, followed by a higher low. So telling us that market sentiment is now moving this way. And if we get a break above 920, we'll be forming a higher swing, which is telling us that market sentiment is still favoring upside. CTC is telling us it's blue on the daily. We should be looking for upside. However, 9200 is the resistance area. Break above 9200, then everything's in our favor for upside push. So at the moment now we need a bullish close above 9200 to confirm that CTC is correct, and we should be looking for favorable to upside. However, until this downside trend over here is in play and price fails to actually break above this 9200 psychological area here, then we should be looking for a bearish engulfing or a swing low, ideally trading below 910 to take us back towards the 9000 and back towards the 8930 here, back to the institution moving average. So here again, got to see a nice confirmation candle. Two very indecisive candles at a resistance level. Got to see a confirmation decision. Last pair of the day is US dollar Japanese yen. This pair, huge rally in February. However, we've seen the 8400, which happened to be a very long support and resistance level, long term coming into play, and we've seen price revert into the downside since then. And then what I've done is I've taken a fib retracement, and we've seen the 23.6 of this retracement area plus the 38 recently being tackled. And then we had a bullish engulfing at the underside, and then 2 days prior we had a nice break to the upside. Now confirming that we could see potential for buying sentiment coming in now. Okay, you can see that price, when we bought in early February, people obviously taking profits, pull back and play. However, the 80 over here, for example, at the bottom here, at the low of this candle over here, is a very strong prior resistance level. Now we've had a breakout. We want to see support or buying something coming into this, so we could see potential for price to move higher, and then we should be tackling the, you can see we're trading above the 38.2. As long as it maintains itself above the 81 now, we should see more buying sentiment creeping in and taking us towards the 23.6, just above the 82.30 mark, before we see the 8400 long term being retargeted. So very, very important that price remains above 80, because by doing so it's now found support above a prior major resistance, and it can now build in longs as people start to reinvest in this after the first extension. So this would ideally be the second extension to the upside on this pair. So as long as it maintains above 81, we should see further buying sentiment for this pair. That's it for today, guys. Hope you have a fantastic trading day. Just be aware that we have Spanish 10-year bonds auction today. Very, very important. We'd like to see what the figures are on that. That will dictate. Spain's going through a lot of pain at the moment. A lot of pain. We've had Ireland, Portugal, Greece, now we've got Spain. Major, major, major one. Everybody's really, really wanting to know what's going to happen with Spain, because it's a huge economy. The third largest economy in Eurozone. And yeah, so very, very important. That's hence the reason why we're seeing a lot of indecision across the board, especially with Euro. On the daily, we've got to see a decision. We've got to see a break of 1300 in order to see further downside movement. Will Spain be that catalyst? It remains to be seen. But as long as you follow the rules of your trading, keep your money management right. A lot of hesitation out there. I would advise a lot of you just to stand aside before we get a definite, clear decision from the market, and then we'll trade that. But until then, just keep it simple, remain focused, believe in your strategy, and most importantly, trade serenely.